and welcome to the presentation of Jessica and Alex Wilson's wedding. This presentation will inform you of the details for the wedding, such as the dress, cake, flowers, theme, venue, budget, and other little details for the day. Without further ado, let's get started. So this wedding will be based off Jessica's religious, being Christian, as she's always grown up wanting a traditional Christian wedding. Alex has grown up in a Catholic background, however, it is not something he strongly follows. This has led to the couple deciding they would like to have a traditional spring Christian wedding. However, if this changes, ample notification will need to be given. These traditions will be seen through the gown, flowers, the venue for both the ceremony and reception, the cake and invitations. However, there are additional topics such as the budget and legal requirements that will be discussed and will ensure they are done as traditionally as possible as well. So first off, I'd like to discuss the wedding dress with you, Jessica, and what ideas you have in mind. So personally, I've picked a few dresses that I think will be perfect for the day and for your figure. So the dress is also, you need to consider, a personal element to any bride and can create the bride's identity during the wedding. As this is a traditional wedding, we do want to try and find something that is on trend but still has some traditional elements. So as you can see, figure 1 shows a princess style sweetheart neckline dress. It has a large traditional style skirt but is in trend with the sweet floral design. This style of dress is more of a statement piece and will make you feel like a princess. This dress will be seen on more outgoing personalities. The figure 2 shows a mermaid bodycon figure hugging kind of dress off the shoulder. This style of dress is a little bit more sexy but is still conservative and sweet. It would look great with a large bunch of spring florals. And figure 3 shows an A-line dress that is sweet and flowy. This style of dress shows a very soft touch to the wedding. And this style for spring would be perfect to make the bride look like she's floating down the aisle. A simple bunch of spring blush or yellow flowers would look gorgeous with this style of dress. So these dresses are all different styles and can give you an idea of what to look for your style of wedding. These dresses can create a baseline of what you may like and may look good on Jessica's figure. Now on to flowers. Blush and foliage have become a huge trend for 2017 to 2018. A wedding bouquet can consist of the images that are displayed. The first image has more of a loose-fitting type of bouquet, and this goes really well with the rustic style theme of the wedding, and it also displays a more fun and relaxed vibe for the wedding. The other 2 images have a tighter fit bouquet, which can show more sophistication. This can lead to the wedding down a blush and foliage vibe, and it can look more put together, and although fun, it can show more seriousness. The type of blush flowers you want to look for are blush spray roses, peonies, cafe or late dahlias, and pink ranunculus, to name a few. These can be your statement pieces, and from there you can use flowers such as baby's breath and foliage. The bridesmaids' bouquets are generally smaller than the brides, but they can take a sweet spin. So these bouquets can have ribbon or lace just flowing from the stems, and these sort of details can look simple but effective during photos and the walk through the aisle. So for the venue, Jessica, you've asked for a simple sort of wedding. However, simple doesn't necessarily mean not effective, as seen in figure 8. Instead of bringing large florals to the tables, for a smaller wedding, the bride can choose table decorations to mimic the blush theme. These blush utensils at the table give an effect of a blush floral on the table, but looks very simple with only a small bit of foliage. These small bits of foliage can also be a large saver in the budget. The middle image, figure 7, shows what blush florals and foliage can look like as table centres or table features. This can be minimised at the request of Jessica, however the style can look stunning and will not need anything else on the tables. The flowers of the bottom middle image displays a candle in a cage. This being taken away can also show simple yet effective for the table centres. These table centres can look quite traditional also. Figure 6 shows a foliage table runner. This style for the wedding is not as simple as the other 2 images, however it can look extremely effective once the entire venue has been put together. Now onto the cake. The idea of having cakes such as these matches in with the entire theme of the wedding. By having flowers on the cake is staying in trend. Additionally, having beads lining the cake add that pearl touch, making it seem more traditional. If you're aiming for traditional, you also want to make sure it's as white as possible. In terms of flowers on the cake, it really is whatever flowers you prefer. If you want to incorporate the bridal and bridesmaids bouquets onto the cake, then by all means. However, if you want to go with a wider flower that's similar to the rest of the flowers used, it can also look effective. The foliage on the cake will tie nicely in with the foliage within the venue, and again ties with visual aspects of the wedding together. However, if you wanted to furthermore focus on just a traditional style, Figure 10 displays a fondant-style 3-tiered cake. This cake has detailing to it to enhance the beauty and give it a style. This can be lowered to the 2 tiers to suit the 100 guests, and taking off a tier will make it furthermore inexpensive. This cake can have flowers or intricate detailing made with icing to make it look grand. M's Frosted Gems do 2-tiered wedding cakes from $300. However, Figure 10 will cost about $400 as fondant is more expensive and there's more intricate work needed for the little details. This vendor will be the one doing your wedding cake as she has large experience and is really good within the industry. The venue that has been chosen is Tokul Homestead. The venue will allow the couple to have both their ceremony and reception at the one place. The ceremony can be either held on the grounds or at designated areas, including the Tokul Chapel, which will be more of a traditional location for this type of wedding. The ceremony location will be chosen by the couple and further details will then be given. The Tokul Homestead lawn offers a lovely backdrop for the family and group images. The stunning property is completely available to you and your photographer to use for the bridal party photos. While the bridal party is utilising the beautiful grounds for the photography, your guests can enjoy relaxing with drinks and nibbles at Blackett's Barn or the Function Centre lawn prior to the reception. The Heritage Hay Shed Function Centre retains the exterior of a 100-year-old shed. This interior has been transformed into a modern function venue with extensive use of recycled timber. The Heritage Hay Shed overlooks the Orchard and Homestead grounds, with views of the mountains in the distance. Its lawn area offers a pre-dinner space or smoking area for guests during the reception. Every package at Tokul Homestead includes a personalised wedding planning and assistance. There will be ceremony setup of bench seats and folding chairs along with a signing table. There will be use of Tokul property with bridal party photographs, and we suggest that your photographer views Tokul in advance as there are so many beautiful backdrops to select from. And there is a guest pre-dinner space in the Homestead Gardens, lawn or Blackett's Barn. There are opportunities to hire a tour guide to show guests through the Homestead house during the pre-dinner period. And there are seated dinners include all table settings, wooden crossback chairs, glassware, white linen and napkins. There is also coordination of place cards and table settings. Our team at Tokul Homestead can place out your basic decorations, which you'll have to speak to the coordinator about, and an easel on arrival for arrival sign or seating chart. There's also use of lectern and house sound system, which is in the function centre. There's also be a cake table, table numbers if required, and gifts table and tea light candles. All staffing required for service of your meal, and there'll be full beverage service by an RSA team. Seated dinners will also receive table service during meal service and reverting to bar service afterwards when the party starts. Specialist wait staffs and event supervisors will also be there, and complimentary menu tasting for the bride and groom. Pre-wedding catch-up with your wedding coordinator. There'll be 6 to 8 weeks before the date to finalise the details on the day. And the package prices will be based on 90 people, inclusive of venue hire. Less guest numbers will incur an additional venue hire fee of $45 per guest. However, that does not require to you as you have 100 people on your guest list. And now for the ceremony. Just to keep on top of trends, Jessica and Alex will have their ceremony outdoors and in front of the large tree growing on the grounds of Tokul Homestead, as this has been decided after the run-through and site visit. Tokul Homestead have allowed for you to visit and walk the grounds if you can envision where you want the chairs to sort of be seated and the fine details after that. As it is a religious ceremony, it will be taken place by your chosen pastor, and there are options available of the archway with flowers. However, this will be altered and changed depending on your taste and what you decide on. This will be needed to be provided externally. Now for the reception, this style of barn will keep on trends with the rustic theme. It will also look gorgeous with the green foliage and blush flowers. This theme within the wedding ties in perfectly with the venue. In terms of photo opportunities for the venue, the acreage estate allows for you as a couple to roam the grounds and pick wherever you want the photos. Your photographer also has full access to the acreage and can utilise the space in any way that is wanted. Some examples of great photos opportunities are seen in this images are displayed. Additionally, as seen above, the colour scheme of blush ties perfectly with the venue, displaying a rustic vibe. So for the catering of the venue, it has to be done via the venue. It cannot be sourced externally. So prior to the reception, there will be canapes served with sparkling wine in celebration. This can be served just after the ceremony or upon arrival to the pre-dinner area, and this will retail at $23 per person. So for the menu, Jessica and Alex, you will need to select 5 different varieties of canapes to be served cocktail style to your guests, and there will be 1 drink allocated per person for approximately half an hour service. I've also wanted to add a little bit of variety for the guests, so we're just going to do a very traditional alternate drop of 2 mains and 2 entrees with cake served for dessert, and this will retail at $151 per person, additionally including a drinks package for the night. As a nice touch, the wedding cake will also be served to guests with fresh cream and coulis, and the beverages will be a 5-hour package, and these drinks will need to be picked from the beverage package menu. So there is table drink service of all beverages during dinner, and there's bar service afterwards additionally. For the entrees and main meals, they can be picked via the image seen. However, the top picks of recommendation for the entree would be the crispy pork belly with roasted carrot puree, apple and radish salad, as well as pumpkin arcini with garlic aioli, basil mayonnaise and leaf salad. And for the main, braised beef with mashed potato and autumn vegetables and red wine juice, roasted pork loin with sautéed cabbage and spinach with caramelised poached pear, with the dessert obviously being the cake. Now on to just the little details within the wedding. As the venue with all inclusions will cost a little bit of money, just to save some within the wedding, all the stationery that will be sent out will be printable and done by the couple. The template displayed will be a downloadable printable format. You can get all 4 prints for $51.61. This can save a large amount of cost as invitations can be expensive for large amounts of people. The couple can then buy some paper you wish to print the cards on and decorate the invitations with ribbon and foliage just to add a personal touch within the wedding. To save a bit of money, the couple can grab the foliage of nearby trees and bushes and get the ribbon really, really cheap from on sale at Spotlight or Kmart. The photography should also try and tie in with the theme of the wedding, so using these earth tones when editing the photos really bring out the blush colours as seen as the image on the left, figure 21. The photographer is a Sydney-based photographer who does full-day weddings of photography for $2,500. She is there from the start of the day until the end of the day. As she's starting out and building her portfolio, she's significantly cheaper than other photographers and will provide a USB with all photos and digital download, and she will also print out a few of the highlights of the day. Transportation to and from the wedding is not always a large issue on the bride and groom's mind, so to go with something a little bit more simple and classy, the couple should use a white car that looks nice in photos but does not cost a fortune to hire. The company HF Wedding and Hire Cars have great reviews and great prices, so the couple don't have to break the bank. This company also has many good reviews about the drivers and offering refreshments for the bridal party. The company will offer 1 car for $250 for a day, including the refreshments, as there are only 2 bridesmaids and 2 groomsmen. There is only 2 cars that are needed. The family will not be travelling in these cars. Onto the music for the wedding. As this is a traditional wedding, music can generally come from the form of a band. However, if it is the couple's desire, there are options of either a DJ or a band. Both sources of music will need extensive research to find the right option for the type of wedding, and both are effective. It really bases off personal preference. However, for the type of suite wedding that is being planned, I would recommend a solo acoustic musician for the ceremony and pre-dinner drinks, and then for the reception, I would recommend a DJ, as it is a young crowd at the reception. Having a DJ can be easier to get the young ones up and dancing, but also play some older classics for the parents and grandparents. Now on to the run sheet of the day. At 6 a.m, the hairstylist and makeup artist will get up and get the bride and bridesmaids ready, and at 6:30 the photographer will arrive at the bride's location for the photos. At 9 a.m. the photographer will arrive and the groom and groomsmen will be getting ready, and then at 9:30 preparation and final check by the event planner will commence at the ceremony destination, ensuring everything is in place or almost in place. At 10 a.m, the florist will arrive at the destination to start putting up the flowers over the archway that will be decided. And then at 10:30, the coordinator will leave the venue and go see that the bride is almost ready to do the bridesmaids' photos. At 11:30, I will go to the groom's location and ensure the men are ready to go. Then at 11:40, I'll leave for the venue and do one last check. Ensure all that is ready for the ceremony and pre-dinner drinks, also ensuring the florist is setting up for the reception area. I will make sure that the venue has all the tables and chairs set up ready to go. At midday, the groom and groomsmen will arrive at the ceremony and the bride leaves for the location for the ceremony. At 12:30, the ceremony will commence. And then at 1, the bride and groom will leave the party for family photos, and guests will do as they please until the pre-dinner drinks time slot. At 2 p.m, I'll check pre-dinner drinks area and ensure the caterers have canapes and drinks ready to go. And then at 3, I'll do one last check at the reception area. Everything should be ready for rollout. At 3:30, the guests will start arriving for pre-dinner drinks, and then at 4, pre-dinner drinks will be served and canapes roll out. At 5:30, I'll just make sure the DJ is setting up for the night, and then at 6, the guests will enter the reception area and will be seated, and the acoustic musician will go home. At 6:30, the bride and groom will enter with the bridal party, and then at 7, we'll have entrees served. At 7:45, speeches will start. At 8 o'clock, we'll have mains served, and then at 8:30, the traditional dance will start of the bride and groom, the father and the daughter, and the mother and the son. And then at 9 o'clock, we'll have cutting of the cake, 9:10 bouquet toss, and at 9:15 garter toss. At 9:20, dessert will be served, and the dancing will continue. At about 10:50, the bride and groom will depart, and everyone will say their goodbye with sparklers. And at 11 o'clock, bump out and guests will depart from the venue. Lastly on the agenda will be the budget. The venue at Tokal Homestead has allowed for the ceremony and reception to be together. The venue, pre-dinner drinks, reception drinks, menu and all inclusions will cost $21,400. Now this is largely over budget, however there are large budget savers in other aspects of the wedding. The photography will cost $2,500 for the entire day, including the inclusions, using Riviera Media. The dress and men's attire will have to stay within $3,600 to stay on budget. However, the men's suits can be bought by local companies such as YD, Connor or Roger David, and these can have some discounts when buying in bulk. However, they are only mandatory for the groom and groomsmen, and the dress should aim to be about $3,000. The flowers can be done for $2,400. However, they will need to be sourced locally and the flowers will need to be in season. The music and entertainment can be done for $1,000 for the day and night. This can be done by hiring small local musicians who want to build their experience, and they can be hired for a cheaper price, and the DJ will only need to be hired for 4 hours from 7 to 11 p.m. The cost on average will be $250 for the DJ and about $300 to $400 for the acoustic musician. So this in total will come to $650. The stationery elements will cost about $51 for the entire download pack, and the paper/ribbon and envelopes will cost roughly $70. This will coming in at a total of $121. There are very little gifts that need to be bought. This can be done cheaply by creating a hamper pack with candles and some other personal touches that the bridesmaids will like. This can be done for $100 per bridesmaids, totaling at $200. We can also cut down on costs by using transport by HF Wedding and hire cars, as this will only cost $500 for the entire day for the 2 cars with all of the inclusions, with the refreshments and good drivers, as these will only be for the 2 groomsmen, the groom, the bride and the 2 bridesmaids. The cake unfortunately is at a bit of an average cost, from $300 to $400, done by M's Frosted Gems. However, she will deliver such a great cake on the day, the cost is so worth it. The legal issues also for the ceremony will only cost about $56, as this is all that is needed for the marriage certificate. Wedding preparation will cost about $200, as there is not much to buy, but this money can be used for contingency in case something does go wrong. As the wedding is over budget, all extra expenditures will add on to this. However, this can be saved if cheaper wedding dresses are bought and if cheaper flowers have been sourced.